This is a very quick overview of the CDA profile chart in loops mode for doing aerodynamic field testing. So all you do is you find a loop that you can keep on going around uninterrupted by traffic or pedestrians or anything else that would get in your way or cause you to have to leave your test position, and just allow you to keep going around. So in this particular example that I've got here, I started off with a quick warm-up of going around, and then you can see a gap where I stop, and that indicates to the system that a new test is about to be performed, and I then start going around. So this is actually the same position, but you can see here in my slightly more relaxed warm-up, I was a little bit less aerodynamic than I was when I was actually focusing on holding the position. So 0.004 was the difference. And then I stop again after that first run. So that first run was testing 2 spacers under the stem. And I wanted to test to see if actually raising the stem up by a few spaces would actually be more aerodynamic, because it certainly is easier to hold. So for me, would it offer any cost to me, or would it in fact be more aerodynamically efficient? And fortunately for me, it actually turned out to be more aerodynamically efficient, because once I had put the 3 spacers in and I had started my second test run, after going round, the system has actually calculated that it was 0.01 faster than the original 2 spacer setup. So in order to make sure that this wasn't an error, I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but it's always best to do this, I then revalidated the first test run by removing the 3 extra spacers. So I stopped, took out the spacers, and then started again back in that original 2 spacer setup, and this returned my CDA back up to 0.259 as the test average. So that's very close to the first one. Ideally, I would have gone around again. I must admit, I would have gone and put the 5 spacer setup back in. But in this example I didn't. So, but it clearly shows you that the premise of how this works. So this is in loops mode. Dirty mode actually isn't particularly good at doing this sort of testing. So what you will need to do is, when you load up your ride into my windsock, is to go to the Aero. Go into the Aero tab, and you select loops mode from the options there. There's various options in here which you can play about with to get the correct loops, and to adjust it if your loops aren't being picked up. So there's various different things that you can do in there, but this is the basics of it really, and I hope that you have fun playing with it.